So usually, the most epic fight scenes in anime are where the overpowered main character fights the final boss. It's paired with amazing animation, music, and a whole lot of magic and swords. Just look at the final battle of Fate Zero. The amount of adrenaline I get while seeing these two duel it out is so high that I could probably write a new redo of Healer light novel. And Tokyo Revengers has none of that. No magic, no swords, but what it does have is amazing fights that not only hype you up like it's Christmas, but can make you shed tears as well. From the twin brothers of Roppongi to the invincible Mikey, these are the top 12 strongest Tokyo Revengers characters. First up are the Haitani brothers. You've probably seen these guys in the anime. They first appeared during the bloody Halloween where Toman and Valhalla fought. Honestly, they look more like models than delinquents, to be honest. I mean, bleh. Handsome Squidward has some competition. Aside from their appearances, Ran Haitani and Rindo Haitani really know how to fight. They're so strong that they conquered Roppongi with no gang to back them up and even defeated the strongest gang in the area. This incident was called the Roppongi Battle of the Ashes. Literally sounds like a battle from Lord of the Rings. My precious ring. During this fight, Ran and Rindo Haitani went 2-on-2 against the captain and vice captain of the most powerful gang at that time. Ran instantly knocked out the captain and Rindo grappled the vice captain. Ran then punched him non-stop until his face caved in and he died, as you can see in chapter 160. These dudes literally committed like murder, my dogs. These guys can literally kill me with those good looks too, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm just kidding, or am I? And at number 11 is one half of the twin devils, Suta Kawata, or better known as Angry. It's like my mom's nickname. Despite his face, Angry is actually a pacifist and tries to avoid fighting as much as possible. Unlike Smiley, who just wants to murder people. Roll the clip. But do you know why Angry is listed above the big names of the S62 generation? It's because of this, him wrecking the Haitani brothers, this, him smashing Mucho, and this, Angry beating Mochi. Yeah, that's right, Mochi. Chapter 163. Angry turns into the crying blue ogre when he's pushed to his limit. In this form, he's so strong that he defeated 4 of the strongest delinquents in the series in one go? What? Let's go! Angry literally went Super Saiyan and wrecked 2 of the 4 heavenly kings and 2 executives of Tenjiku in an instant. I want blue hair all of a sudden. And take note, before he turned into the crying blue ogre, his legs were broken by Rindo Haitani. Legs were broken, okay? Let's not forget that, guys. Angry, who's in middle school, can beat you up if you make him cry. Undoubtedly, this is younger brother I would be scared to have. No, I'm just kidding. Undoubtedly, when he's in his prime, Angry's stronger than the Tokyo Manji gang captains, we can say. And at number 10, we have Wakasa Imaushi. Wakasa Imaushi is one of the living legends of the first generations of the Black Dragons. If you don't think this is a big deal, then you need to talk to somebody. You need help, okay? Then you should know that the first generation of the Black Dragons was the #1 gang in all of Japan. That's what you really need to know. You don't need a doctor. I was just kidding. Chapter 213. Wakasa is literally a ninja. Like, he's got ninjutsu. He just popped up behind Kakucho during Rokuhara, Tandai, and Brahman's confrontation. This dude is so cool that he didn't even do anything. He just walked away and said he didn't care. As you can see here in chapter 213. Wakasa is just a Gyu if he was a delinquent. From Demon Slayer. He's so strong that he was even the other half of the best duo of the first generation, and that says a lot. Think about it. You are one of the 2 people who are the strongest in Japan's top gang. Let's go! Maybe this guy has chakra and like straight up used teleportation jutsu against Kakucho, or you know, he's got Kamui from Kakashi, you know, whatever it may be. This guy's doing it right. And number 9, we have Keizo Arashi. This guy is the other half of the best duo. Keizo, or also known as John Cena, I'm just kidding. Keizo Arashi, or also known as Benkai, was another founder of the first generation of the Black Dragons, and is now an executive of Brahmin along with Waka. Benkai just looks like he'll beat you up and steal your mom. He's what a real delinquent looks like, if I've ever seen one. And I'm not kidding when I say it, he's gonna steal your mom, because this dude packs a punch. Benkei punched Shion Madarame so hard that he was knocked out in 1 hit. He even stood up like nothing happened after Kakucho smacked him. In chapter 213. One word to describe Benkei is that he's a tank. He can dish out powerful hits and is durable at the same time, but can he be Goku? No, I'm just kidding. Calm down, Dragon Ball fans. 8, we have Akashi Takami. I ain't even gonna lie, this guy's literally called the God of War in Tokyo Revengers. Who gets that nickname? Like, did he kill Zeus or something? Akashi Takami was the vice president of the first generation of Black Dragons and worked alongside the legendary Shinjiro Sano. Chapter 212. We haven't seen him fight, but my G, we gotta be real here. If you have 3 nicknames and they all sound cool, you have to be super powerful. That's just how anime works. Akashi's called the Rainbringer, which sounds like a character from Mortal Kombat, Living Legend, which I don't have to explain, and God of War. Like, it rains wherever he goes. He might have powers that control the weather or something. Like, this is insanity. Needless to say, Akashi Takami deserves this rank. He became the right-hand man of Shinjiro and now leads Brahmin alongside SenjuKawaragi. Everywhere he goes, he becomes a top dog and gets a say in the gang's decisions as a whole, wherever he goes. At number 7, we've got South Torano. Now we're getting into the Giga Chads of Tokyo Revengers. South Torano is literally a carbon copy of Taijushiba. He even looks like Taiju when he's angry or fighting. South Torano is the leader of Rokuhara Tandai, and he's not even from Tokyo. This guy just went there to fight with the Tokyomanji gang. Chapter 211. I don't know why he looks like Taiju, but I can tell you that South is just as strong as him. With a combo of punches, South Torano made Drakan kneel. Drakan, guys. Yes, that Drakan who defeated 100 members of the 9th generation of Black Dragons. South Torano is a beast and has a wild attitude to complement it. South Torano is so strong that he even recruited the entire S62 generation, which were originally followers of Izana Kurukawa. Chapter 212. Those guys did some horrible crimes and South earned their respect. Maybe his power comes from all the Italian phrases he shouts while fighting? Who knows? A lot of pizza maybe. And number 6, we have Hitokakucho. Kakucho is not a delinquent. He looks like a straight up Yakuza, okay? If you see this guy on the street, don't look him in the eyes, or just don't look at him, you know what I mean? Hitokakucho was the strongest of the 4 heavenly kings of Tenjiko, and is also the strongest out of all the top seats in Rokuhara Tendai. He's just like Akashi Takami, and they both even have some scars on one side of their head or face, or whatever you want to say. Okay, enough of the Illuminati meme. Hitokakucho has the ability to decimate an entire gang by himself. Just look at what he did to Takemichi. Chapter 165. Kakucho isn't afraid to kill, and he would do anything for his king, Izana Kurukawa. Kakucho is so strong that he was the only one who was able to be angry in his crying blue ogre form, and he wiped out the rest of the Toman vice captains in one go. Chapter 164. Kakucho's punches are powerful enough to send Benkei flying in one hit. Chapter 213. This man has insane durability and strength, but he's not bulletproof, if you know what I mean. And at number 5, we have Izana Kurukawa. Izana Kurukawa has been mentioned a lot throughout this video, and it's time for him to shine. You know what I'm saying? Like a star. Izana is the president of Tenjiko and one who led the S62 generation, or known as the generation of brutality. He's not built like a giant South Torano, nor is he intimidating like Kakucho, so what makes him so strong? Izana Kurukawa is basically Spider-Man, if he was reincarnated as a delinquent. The way he wins fights is because of his superhuman senses, where he can predict his opponent's movements and counter. He literally has Meliodas' full counter. Izana made every boss of the major gangs in Tokyo kneel before him with their noses broken. Chapter 153. During Izana's fight against Mikey, he was able to deal critical blows against him. Nobody ever has. He predicted every last one of Mikey's kicks and swings and attacked when there was an opening he could take advantage of. Izana may have lost because it became a battle of attrition, but he kept up with Mikey and stood on his level. Like, sadly, Izana had a change of heart and saved Kakucho from Kiseki. Damn you, Kiseki, I wish you'd get hit by a truck. At number 4, we have Taijushiba. I know what you've been thinking while watching this video. Where's Taiju? Well, here he is at number 4. Taiju is a monster. He was able to revive the declining state of the Black Dragons and shape them up into his personal army. Taiju is the 10th generation leader of the Black Dragons, and it was sad that we didn't really see him fight a long battle with Mikey. You know, that would have been sick to see. Is Taiju stronger than Izana? Arguably, they're about the same level, or he may be above Izana when it comes to pure brute force. While Izana relies on his senses, Taiju goes all out. He overpowers overpowers his opponents with his devastating punches that can send a person flying in one hit. Just look at what he did to poor Takamichi's face. Again, chapter 99. During the battle on Christmas Eve, Taiju was able to hold his ground against Takamichi, Chifuyu, Mitsuya, and Hakai even when he had a stab wound. Taiju is so strong that just with one punch he slammed Mikey's head to the ground and knocked him out for a good second. That in itself is a massive achievement. Taiju is also a true advocate of gender equality and doesn't discriminate when beating people up. Literally. Kazuma approved. Sorry about that, Yuzuha. Needless to say, Taiju deserves a number 4 spot because he can literally be called the Goliath of Tokyo Revengers. And number 3 we have SenjuKawaragi. Forget about Hinata, forget about Emma and Yuzuha. SenjuKawaragi is the best girl. Yes, you heard me. Senju is the only girl on this list and is badass. SenjuKawaragi is Brahman's boss and isn't your typical Sakura. Bruh, she can backflip in the air and smack your head to the ground. Despite being a girl, SenjuKawaragi can live up to her hype and fight toe-to-toe against the giants in this list. She prefers to use sneak attacks and find openings she can take advantage of. During Brahman and Rokuhara Tandai's confrontation, she popped out of the crowd of Brahman's grunts, threw her umbrella to serve as a distraction, and bicycle kicked South Torano in the head. That's girl power right there. I know now why Brahman has so many members. If it were me, I'd follow her too, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the list, put me on there. Senju made it her goal to destroy the Kantomanji gang, the new gang that Mikey leads. She's not afraid to go against Mikey and even picked a fight against Drakan. This just goes to show Senju's confidence in her abilities, bro. Is it just me, or does she look like Gojo if he was a schoolgirl? There's not a single character who gets cooler every time a new chapter is released, except for number 2, Drakan. Drakan brings on the drip, baby, the hype, and the intense fights that ladies love whenever he appears. Ken Ryuguchi, or Drakan, is a vice president of the Tokyo Manji gang and was Mikey's right-hand man before Toman disbanded. Drakan may only have the 2nd position in Toman, but that doesn't mean he's not strong. In fact, it makes sense that he is Mikey's partner. From the start of the series to the latest chapter, Drakan has proven himself to be more than capable of wiping out an entire gang by himself, which he did. He literally destroyed the entire 9th generation of the Black Dragons, right? It was 1v100. 1 versus 100, bro. Drakan, this ain't a joke. Drakan was also one of the few people that made Shuji Hanma surrender. Hanma was one of the most durable fighters in the series, and Drakan made him lose his will to fight. Even after getting hit by a metal rod on the head, Drakan managed to fend off every member of Mobius that surrounded him. Drakan is so strong that even both SenjuKawaragi and South Torano fought to make him join their respective gangs. Talk about a superstar, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind being Drakan for a day, you know what I mean? That's just how valuable he is. If you could compare him to any other character, he would be Zoro. Let's just hope he doesn't become a swordsman because he'll be too overpowered then, you know what I mean? And then what if he gets Haki? Then it's game over. And at number 1, the one, the only welterweight heavyweight champion of the world is Manjiro Sano. We all know that Mikey was going to be number 1, obviously. For God's sake, he has the nickname Invincible. Manjiro Sano, or Mikey, is the president of Tokyo Manji gang and created the most dangerous gang in all of Japan in every future ever possible that Takamichi just came back to. Basically, Mikey is Anakin Skywalker. In one future, he literally murdered every last member of the Tokyo Manji gang. That's how strong Mikey is. He can take on all the other people on this list and he'll knock most of them out in one hit. He uses his signature kick, which has so much speed and force put into it that no one ever sees it coming, except for Izana, who had superhuman senses. During the battle on Christmas Eve, Mikey looked like he was flying and Taiju's head suddenly smashed on the ground. Sano also has a dark side to his personality. He's not afraid to kill, and in one timeline, he punched Kazutora to death. He even shot Takamichi. In spite of all of that, Mikey is just overpowered, okay? In the Tokyo Revengers series, with his instant knockout kicks to his unbreakable body, he never lost a fight, and that is why he's the strongest Tokyo Revengers character of all time. Alright guys, these are the strongest Tokyo Revengers characters of all time. Some characters are based on the manga, so some of you may not be familiar with them just yet. I hope you enjoyed this list. Let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are and who was ranked incorrectly and why. Like, we need some real points of discussion here if we're gonna call something out, you know what I'm saying? But it's your boy Ernie Senpai signing out. Make sure to subscribe.